something from Trika Śaivism, how we are correlating and giving answer to the Meta-Cognition and helping the cognitive science discussion, taking insights from the Trika. So let's come. I know it's a quite technical or something different, so very quickly I'm just giving you outline about this presentation, introducing that one. So basically what we picked up here, the cognitive science, that is what investigates how the mind monitors and regulates its own processes. So that is called metacognition. So if you go to the West, and they are also thinking, they are treating that one, how mind is thinking, how mind is monitoring himself, herself. So that is awareness, and that awareness is basically a property of neural computation. And they are thinking about the root of that awareness might be matter. I'm here to give answer through this research, although it's ongoing, through the Trika Śaivism. So Trika Śaivism is basically coming from, it is called Kashmir Śaivism also. It's a non-dual Iswar Prativigya Vad, from the Kashmir Valley. It flourished around 19th to 18th century. I'm blessed to initiate into this parampara by my Gurudev Acharya Motilal Pandit. So that is basically the study of consciousness. In this system, Shiva is the absolute consciousness, and he is the unchanged principle of every change. And there are so many doctrines in this theory. One of the doctrines in this theory is the Vimarśa, Prakash Vimarśa. Prakash is the Shiva and Vimarśa is the Shakti. The dynamic energy is the Vimarśa and consciousness is the Prakash. And this whole manifestation is the cosmic dance of Shiva, the Nataraja. So here what cognitive scientists are talking about this neural computational property, the Vimarśa, the awareness, that is our Vimarśa. So the concept of Vimarśa, basically, so consciousness is a prakash, it's a luminous, and that consciousness got inherent property, the throbbing, the pulsation, and that pulsation, the vibration, that is Vimarśa. So Prakash and Vimarśa are together, inseparable, Shiva and Parvati. And that Vimarśa that's the metacognition. And together, so consciousness, everything is consciousness, nothing beyond consciousness. And Vimarśa is the part of the consciousness. So how this principle, this puzzle is being solving, the metacognition. So because there are 4 branches, if you go dig down, it's quite technical actually. In a Kashmir Śaivism, there are 4 branches again, like Prativigya, more into Prativigya, then Kram, Kal, Aspanda. So the whole Aspanda Karika is one of the real texts. That is all about describing about the Vimarśa, about this awareness. So the almost answer is lying over there, but this is not introspection in the Western sense. It is very nature of awareness itself. So here the theory is like when manifestation, the cyclic manifestation is happening, in our words it's the Unmesh and Nimesh. So the after Bindu, the Nad, the sport is happening. That is the Vimarśa. That is the Vimarśa, basically. So I'm just taking some names from our Guru Parampara who gave the foundational thought on this system. Acharya Utpaldev and the greatest of the great Abhinav Gupta and Kshemaraj. I'm taking few names only because that parampara is coming from eternal parampara, coming from directly Shiva to Adi Guru to present Guru. So the relevance to the cognitive science, metacognition actually in cognitive science involves monitoring and controlling its own thought process basically. And Vimarśa is offering a deeper foundation basically. Because the Western theorists, they got a higher order theories, the Western models. And if you go to understand the cognition in their sense, then the separate meta levels are there. The first level, second level, something like that. So one first level needs the second level. Here the self-awareness rather than an emergent property. So it's a self-reflective, Vimarśa. So reflexivity is the ground of all experience. Because the consciousness, the Prakash, knows he is Prakash. That knowing himself he is a Prakash, that is coming from the Vimarśa only. That's why in Saundara Lahari, Adi Shankar is writing, starting the Anand Lahari part, Siva Sakti Yukto Yadi, if you remove Sakti from Siva, then Siva is Self. So actually, that is the spiritual iconography. That is, if you remove Vimarśa from the Prakash, then Prakash is nothing at all. Prakash doesn't know he's Prakash. So that is the answer for the Meta-Cognition. Here the hard problem what we are solving, if the consciousness is fundamental, not produced by matter, so the explanatory gaps we have to think of. So now the embodied cognition, so aspanda, we called Vimarśa as a vibration, as a spanda also, that parallels the inactivist view of the mind and the dynamic and participatory nature. What methodology we are using here through the abstract text, the real text. Some of them I'm listing here, like Iswar Pratibhigya Karika, Tantra Loka, Pratibhigya Hridayam, Aspanda Karika is one of the main thing. So in Trika Śaivism, we must denote the intrinsic self-reflective capacity of the consciousness. Consciousness is the chit. So awareness not only illuminates object but spontaneously knows itself. That is the cognition. So unlike the higher order theories that treat self-awareness as a secondary neural operation, Trika is our system, the name of our philosophy. So Trika conceives Vimarśa as an ontological attribute of the consciousness itself. So problem solved. So this distinction offers an alternative framework for understanding the self-awareness, intentionally, agency, and the subjective experience. The research methodology is a qualitative one, not quantitative here, and comparative textual studies, not only from the Trika philosophy, other philosophy also we have to integrate from our Indian knowledge system only, and then going forward. So primary text I have mentioned from every guru, from Guru Parampara, they gave us some scriptures. So those scriptures are our reference here. This slide is quite important. Vimarśa versus higher order theories, because the Western cognitive science typically model metacognition through the higher order theory, HOT. So the first order mental state, the seeing rate, for example, that becomes consciousness only when the second order, according to this theory, second order state represents it. So the self-awareness is just derivative. That's the derivative of the first order. So it creates a problem of the regression basically. So what makes the higher order state consciousness? That's the problem. Here the Trika Śaivism, our system from the basket of ideas that solve this regress. So here, time again, I'm just announcing here, Vimarśa is not a separate operation, but the intrinsic nature of the every cognition. Even our path is called Pratibhigya. That's a recognition. So every act of awareness is simultaneously self-aware. No additional meta level is required. It's an unwanted additional meta level that is not required. So consciousness is self-luminous, Swaprakāsh, and the self-referential in nature. So this offers a non-reductive, non-regressive account of the self-awareness. So this intentionality and the subject experience now we can explain through the Vimarśa, because Vimarśa eliminates several core problems in the philosophy of mind. First, the intentionality. In Trika, consciousness is inherently directed. Vimarśa is the power by which awareness reaches towards the grasp of its object. And that is parallel if you go to the Husserl's intensity, that model. But that grounds it ontologically rather than the phenomenologically. And the next problem is the agency. So Vimarśa, solving this problem of agency, Vimarśa as Swatantra. Vimarśa is the Swatantra Shakti of Shiva. So this Swatantra, absolute freedom, means the consciousness is inherently agentive. So the sense of I act, the Aham Vimarśa, that's very important, is not an illusion produced by the neural determinism, but reflects the fundamental creative autonomy of the awareness. The one problem I'm also highlighting here, the many in the list. So, but one was subjective experience. So that is the hard problem. Ask why physical processes give rise to subjective experience. So Trika system, our system, is saying side steps this. Trika, the Shaivas of Kashmir, they are saying consciousness is the ground of reality. It's the ground of everything. And the matter is its contracted expression, not other way. So if you go to the theory of the 36 element in our system, starting from the, if you descending down from Shiva to Dharani, then you can understand how everything is Shiva, everything is consciousness. And the Vimarśa is a part of the consciousness only. So I'm just taking you beyond the computational model. So Trika model extends beyond computational and the reputational account of the cognition. The computational theories reduce mind to the information processing only. It's like a computer. People are saying mind is just like a computer. But the consciousness becomes an phenomenal of the algorithm. And the representational theories treat mental state as an internal model of the external reality. But the awareness is always about something else. So Trika integrates epistemology, phenomenology, and the lived experience into a unified theory where consciousness is both the knower and the known. So Vimarśa is not a representative or the computational, it is a self-luminous act by which reality knows itself from within. So it's quite simple if you look at the meta theory of the Westerners. So
sir, could you please wrap it up? Time's up actually.
So very quickly. So these theories basically enriching the current debates. That current debates is the meta-cognition and the self-regulation and the contemplative cognition and the artificial intelligence also, because time is very short. So I'm just rushing around as you say, and the human flourishing. So the interdisciplinary dialogues, it is starting an interdisciplinary dialogues, bridging the Indian knowledge system with the Western philosophy of the mind and neurosciences, and the challenges the assumption that rigorous theories of the consciousness are exclusively modern or Western. And so I'm concluding here very quickly, as you said. So Vimarśa may serve as a fundamental, foundational, conceptual bridge between the Indian knowledge system and the emerging cognitive sciences. So it encourages new models of reflective awareness that transcends reductionist paradigms. So consciousness as fundamental, not as emergent by product of matter. Self-awareness as intrinsic, not a higher order add-on. Agency as ontological freedom, not a neural illusion. Experience as self-luminous, not requiring external validation. So future research can go like that, like empirical correlates of Vimarśa in the contemplative neuroscience, formal models integrating reflexivity into cognitive architectures, and cross-cultural philosophical dialogues as methodology. So Trika Śaivism offers not just historical insights, but a living framework for understanding what it means to be aware. Thank you, Jai Gurudev.
Thank you, Abhishek ji, for sharing your thoughts and your research. Congratulations and all the best for the future. That's all from my side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for cooperation.